you can't have a Lamborghini dream with a Toyota effort. Now I said this in my last video, my Destroy Lonely reaction, no stylist reaction video. So if you haven't watched that, go watch that. But what I meant by that was, everyone wants a Lamborghini. Like if you gave anybody an option in the world between a Lam and a Toyota, they're taking a Lam 100% of the times. But it's like, people be saying like, oh yeah, I want a Lam. I want to be living in Calabasas. I want to be the flyest person ever. But are you gonna go through the stuff to get to that point? You know what I mean? Are you gonna go through that sacrifices and not having no friends to get to that point? Remember that when you're working, it's a day you don't feel like getting up. It's early, you don't feel like getting up. Get up, because the people that's driving them Lamborghinis, they got up. They didn't lay down. They didn't hit the snooze button. They got up.
Turn me up, daddy.
I'm up on the speed, come on. Fleeing the scene, come on. She tryna leave, come on. Left with the G's, come on. Smoking the Z, come on. Sipping the tea, come on. Get overseas, come on. Count the peak, come on.
Yeah, paradise, yeah. It's somewhere that I've never been before. Yeah, I just wanna be there when I wake up. Yeah, like you better with no makeup. Yeah.
Yo, what's good, everyone? It's your favorite podcast all the time is JHT Talks, and where am I? Nah, for real though. Like, look at this scenery, man. Y'all see the consistency, y'all see the progression, man. I'm trying to lock in for y'all. I got a different vibe ski right now. Man, I'm in San Diego. I'm at this park called Bayview Park. It's an amazing park. It's such a good vibe. Like, I came here because one, I wanted to film a podcast, but two, I also wanted to get like a peace of mind. Like, look, you can see all of the downtown San Diego from back here. You can see the water. So I thought that this would be the perfect vibe for what I'm about to talk about in this episode. But like always, I just want y'all should know where to follow me on social media: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Kick, MySpace, all that. Y'all should know where to follow me at by now. If you don't, why aren't you following me? And I just posted some flicks. Why didn't you like them? You know what I'm saying? And why are you watching this but you're not subscribed? You know what I'm saying? So let's lock in, bro. But other than that, man, I just kind of want to, I don't even really want to waste no time. I kind of want to just get straight into the point. This is a first for that time I've talked about like a topic like this, but I kind of want to be super personal and transparent in this video and speak a lot about my goals and a lot about how I'm gonna get there. And I have a few topics on my phone. Mind you, it's 7:52. I've been out here since like 7:30, but I have some goals and stuff I want to talk about on my phone. But basically I'm gonna bring y'all into my life, you know. So basically here's how we're gonna start off. So I'm gonna start off by talking about my goals, and I have some subcategories that I'm gonna talk about that are gonna be interesting and stuff, blah 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 blah. But first off, we're gonna start by talking about my goals. Now, I kind of also didn't really want to plan for this podcast because I kind of wanted it to just be natural, you know, naturally flowing, because it's just coming from the heart. So my goals now, I guess you could start off with a question: where do you see yourself in 5 years? Myself in 5 years. So in 5 years, I'm 18 right now. In 5 years, I'll be 22, between 22 and 23. So that's like really young, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like one of the things in our world is that people try and make it a lot of times that, oh, you just got to be successful right now. As soon as you turn 18, you got to be successful. But no, that's not the case. You know what I mean? Being 22, like, that's super young. But I'm not gonna lie. Like, do I want to be where I want to be at 22? Yes, of course. But that's not always realistic. But back to the question, like, where I want to see, like, the two things I really see myself doing the most is three things I see myself doing the most is this podcast, working for ESPN or some type of sports broadcasting label, and then being kind of just in fashion. Like, cause I don't know if I want to make a brand. I know I want to model, but I don't know if I want to make a brand. I don't know if I want to, you know what I'm saying, be a creative director. I don't know, but I just really love clothes, and I feel like I really found my passion in it. I'm glad that God put it on my heart to get into clothes, because it's really I think I hear a boat over there about to come, but it's really like cool to me. And I don't know. I just want to be working around that somewhat. And then back to like this podcast, like my podcast, I love it. It's so much hard work, but I really enjoy finding a creative side out of me. Like look, man, I'm right next to the water. If I walk 10 steps, I'm gonna be in some water. Like, isn't this cool? Like, isn't this a good view to look at while you watching your favorite podcast ever? You know what I'm saying? Comment down below if you want more episodes like this. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. I just see 5 years from now, I see all of those avenues of my life growing, like just being out of here. Like this podcast stuff is gonna be super out of this world. It's gonna really just go where I want it to, and I can't wait for that. And then this journalism stuff, like I know I'm gonna have to start from the bottom, of course, but you know, I see myself being bigger than Stephen A. I see myself being my own person. You know, like forget Stephen A. I appreciate what he did, but I see myself being Jaden Hansey, you know what I mean, and being the biggest Jaden Hansey I can be, you know what I mean. And fashion, you already know, I want to create my own avenue like that. And when I look into stuff like fashion, I look at people who changed the culture for Black people, at least the people that changed the culture. People like A$AP Rocky, people like Playboy Cardi, people like Lil Yachty, people like Kanye West, you know what I mean, Virgil. So I look at it in that respect. I want to really have that type of impact with my image and my brand, you know. But yeah, so that's all for my goals for right now. The next topic is, how am I gonna get to those goals? Because yeah, everybody can say, oh, I have this goal, oh, I want to be here at this time, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. But one thing about goals is that you're gonna get tested every day. And it may be tests that when it's going through, it's like, man, this ain't no test, bro. I could go to this little party or whatever. But no, that's really training you, because really, to be on your grind, man, it's actually a beautiful thing, but in the moment it sucks, because like, it's a lot of sacrifice. Like, are you willing to sacrifice your time? Are you willing to work 20 hours out the day, sleep for 4 hours, and wake up and do it again? That's unrealistic, but I'm just saying, you know, are you willing to do that, you know? And I feel like a lot of people, and me included, like, I'm being real. I'm all on my grind, but I be getting caught up into not using my time wisely. But like, everybody be like, oh yeah, I'm on my grind, I'm locked in. But then you see they have so much free time, they're not spending all their time wisely on their thing. You know what I'm saying? Because if you lock in every day, it's so you could be so far. You could be so far. But it's like, you know what I mean, man? You gotta really lock in, and you gotta really want it. And I don't know, man, just me personally, some tips I have on being on my grind, and I'm still kind of perfecting it. Like, you know, sometimes I have days where I don't do nothing. I'm like, man, that's just a whole day on this earth I wasted that I could have been putting towards making myself the best version of me, but I wasted it, you know. And we can't get those days back, but the only thing we can do, as long as we're on this earth, we can live our days 100%, 110%, you know what I mean? So I think one of the things that helps me stay on my grind is just knowing where I want to be, because I try and put pressure on myself, because I'm like, yeah, in this world, that's all, y'all hear the waves? In this world, nothing really matters, because one day we're going to die anyway. But it's like, who wants to just live a regular life? Like, if nothing matters pretty much, why am I scared of failing? Why am I scared of not putting in all this work? Because if one day we all gonna die anyway, you might as well go balls to the walls and just go straight for it. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, like what am I spending a whole day watching TV, playing my Xbox, eating fast food for it? That's a waste. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't know. It's just hard to explain, but I'm like, man, you might as well spend your time grinding, man, because life is just so much better when you do. You're going to feel so much better about yourself when you're not dwelling on stuff that's not making you any type better, you know what I mean? So that's just one way I look at it. And also, I think if you want to be on your grind and you want to achieve your goals, you have to be motivated, because them days when you got to wake up early, when you just got no sleep, but you still got to go do your thing, and then it's like sometimes when you're having creative block, maybe like with this podcast, sometimes I may not be able to think of an idea, and I'm like, dang, bro, what am I gonna do? I don't know. That's when you really gotta lock in, man, and just like that's when that motivation comes in. So I feel like you gotta really be motivated if you want to become the best version of yourself. And that's kind of why I want to title this, like, just becoming the best version of yourself, because I'm nowhere near that yet, but hopefully by the time I leave this earth, I'm the best version of myself. And I think that's possible because, one, we got God up there. Like, come on, man. He ain't going to steer you in the wrong direction. But two, I think it's just because it takes work. It takes a lot of work, a lot of work. And people be like, oh, what's the best version of yourself? I just think that means, like, to me, that means when you walk, well, I mean, to me, that means when you self-reflect, when it's just you and it's just your consciousness, when you self-reflect, you can be like, okay, I have my flaws, because being the best version of yourself doesn't mean you're perfect. It just means, okay, I have my flaws, but if I were to leave this earth right now, I'm confident in the impact I left on it, and the impact I left on myself, and the impact that I left on the people around me. You know, that's why I think being the best version of yourself is. And like, yeah, like there's still a lot of impacts I want to make on myself, on the earth, on the people that love me and like me, you know. But I just think it's gonna come with time, man. It's gonna come with time. But let me get to the next topic. The next topic is how do I stay focused with having so much on my plate? Now, this is a great question. Now, today's Sunday, the 21st or something, and I think tomorrow I'm starting school, and I have a lot on my plate. Like, I'm gonna be a student, have this podcast, writing for my school newspaper. I'm gonna be an RA. I'm gonna be working at my Black Resource Center. So I got a lot of stuff going on, and on top of wanting to do my fashion things and just be a regular person, you know. But how am I gonna stay focused on that? I think it just all ties back into the motivation stuff, because like, you can't manage all of that. You can't manage being like, because a lot of that stuff isn't fun. Well, the only school part and maybe being the RA part isn't fun, but a lot of that is not really fun. So it's like, you gotta really be motivated, because if you're not, it's gonna be like it's gonna get hard, and then you're gonna give up. But I'm really motivated because I really, really want to make a change in this world. Like, I really want people, like how people. This is just an example, but how people see Kanye, and then there's people that love him, and then there's people that hate him, but they're like, it's undeniable, whether you love him or hate him, that he made an impact on his culture, on the area that he was attacking, and even the world. He made an impact, whether it be through his fashion, his music, his antics in the political world, or whatever it is. Like, I just want to be that, and I'm not going to say I want to be as infamous as Kanye is, but I just want to be able to say, when I die, when I leave this earth, the people that knew me and the people that didn't, like the people that I never even met, knew that Jaden Hansey, he made an impact on this world. You know what I mean? So that's I just went on a little tangent right there, but that's one of my biggest goals, divine goals, is to be able to make an impact on this world. And I think that keeps me focused, because I'm like, yeah, in order to get to that level of we'll call it Kanye level, you can't really shy away from doing things you don't want to do, because you're gonna be put against some stuff that you don't want to do. But that's just life, man. You just got to get through it. But that stuff, I feel like when you're doing that stuff that you don't want to do, you're really learning about yourself. You're really becoming. I feel like that's when you're becoming the best version of yourself, because you're learning, okay, I don't like to do this, but I'm doing it anyway, and I'm giving it my all, when it's so easy to just give up and just go back on my couch watching Netflix, you know what I mean? So that's just how I feel like you stay focused. And also, you can't underestimate the people around you, because I definitely think that you are who you surround yourself with. Facts, that's 100%. And a lot of us aren't as fortunate as me. Like, I was born into a good team. My mom, she's the best person ever. She's one of the smartest people ever. My grandmother, my sister, my friends that I talk to every day, my friends that I may not talk to every day, they're all great people, you know. So, and I'm super grateful for them. But I feel like if you don't have a good supporting cast, you have nothing. Because just for example, if I'm super duper creative, right, and then my friends, they're over here, they just want to smoke, drink, party, play video games all day. That's not giving me anything. But if, let's say I'm super creative, and then I have some friends who are all creative, and then they're giving me creative looks, and I'm giving them creative looks, look at how much that's going to grow, you know what I mean? And just for another example, I just feel like in this world, it's super. I used to always think this all the time. Oh yeah, I'm gonna just figure it out on my own. You can't. You need people around you, and you need to learn from everyone as much as you can from everyone, no matter who it is, no matter if it's a friend, a random person you just met, a teacher, a blah blah blah. No matter what it is, you can learn from everyone, and you can't do that by if you're surrounded by people who aren't gonna be benefiting you. You know what I'm saying? So I think who you surround yourself is big. Support, because that support goes a long way when it's long nights and it's like you feel like it's not really working. Nobody's really, I don't really see no improvements. Those the people around you are gonna be the ones who are telling you, man, keep going, bro. What are you doing? You almost there. You almost there. You're almost there. You know, you gotta keep going. So I just feel like having a good supporting cast around you is probably the second biggest thing to staying focused and staying on your grind, other than being motivated. Is, you know what I'm saying? Because the people around you really is super important. But yeah, also I would just say, having a big faith in God, or whoever you believe in, but me personally, and for all my people who are Christian and or Catholic, having a big faith in God. Now, I want to talk about religion and spirituality a little bit later down the line on this podcast in the next coming weeks or months or so. But I think just having a big belief and faith in God is largely important, because I don't know, man. I just feel like religion is so up in the air, because how can we believe in something that we don't see? But I think that's definitely what it is. You can believe in something. That's what belief is. You have to believe in something, even if you may not be able to see it or hear it or touch it or feel it. You know, that's what belief is. And I think I really feel God with me, you know. And me going to a Catholic school, high school, really helped give me a great understanding of, like, okay, now, we can't prove any of this stuff that happened in the Bible was real, but we have to believe and we have to have faith, because that's just life. Like, I guess that's a good analogy to life. Is like we don't know if we're gonna make it to tomorrow. We don't know if we're gonna get that job we want. We don't know if our passion is our passion, but we have to have faith, though. You have to have faith that it's your passion. You gotta live like it is your passion. So that's just kind of, I don't want to talk about it too much, because I really want to have an in detail, full video about religion and spirituality. But shout out God, though. Shout out God. Amen, man. He got me here safely. He gonna keep me here safely. So shout out him. But yeah, that's kind of just that about staying focused while having so much on your plate. And this also isn't gonna be a long video. I just kind of wanted to just get some thoughts out, inspire somebody, because you never know who's watching this. It could be somebody who's been wanting to do something forever but just couldn't get it done, but now because they heard me say it, someone that they look up to, now they gonna want to do it. You know what I mean? But for the next one is dealing with negative thoughts. Now, this is a great one, because for anybody that knows me, or for just, you could tell off this podcast, I'm a super confident person. I believe in myself more than, as much as I believe in God, I believe in myself, and that's a big amount. So, but I'm also human. I also deal with negative thoughts. I also deal with, like, people don't care. Like, these are just some of the thoughts that go in my head. Like, oh, people don't care. People don't care what you got going on, or people don't want to listen to you, or you talking too much. Stop being yourself. Stop being the person who you are. Stop doing this. Stop doing that. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. And it's like, I consider those negative thoughts. Now, obviously, those aren't as negative as people saying, oh, I want to leave this earth, or things like that. But those are thoughts that sometimes get in my way. And it may not be a big roadblock, but it's stuff that gets in my way that's preventing me from getting to the point I want to be. So basically, I think dealing with negative thoughts is, you just got to have that transparency with your conscious, between your conscious and between your human self. Because one thing about the human body is your conscious, the person that's really you, the person that when you go to bed at night and you're having conversations and it's just you, that's the person you're listening to. That's your conscious, which is empowered by God. But you have to listen to your conscious, because your conscious, no matter what, is never going to tell you wrong. Your heart is never going to tell you wrong. Now, you can have all of this depression, anxiety. Obviously, I've never dealt with those things, but I'm just saying, this is just my perspective on it. I could be wrong, because that's just the world. Everything in this world is perspective. So I can only speak on my perspective. But if you can have all of these things going on, at the end of the day, you still have your conscious, and your conscious is not going to lead you in the wrong way, because your conscious is your heart. You know what I'm saying? So when people are, like, suicidal and they have that second thought telling them, oh no, I shouldn't do this, there's people that need me, that's your conscious, just for example. But I think basically dealing with those negative thoughts is you have to be able to separate your conscious from your human self, and your human self is influenced so much by egos. So basically the ego is just it's not a terrible thing because you need an ego, but the ego is basically what's influenced by outside stuff. So your friends influence your ego, what you consume influences your ego, excuse me. What you like, what you watch, what you listen to, who you're around, your own self-belief about yourself, that all influences your ego. But your conscious, nothing influences your conscious but God, because your conscious is your true self, and you can never get away from your true self. You could lose your ego, but you can never get away from your true self. So I think just having that, being able to distinguish between the two is really what is how you beat self-thought. Because I've been kind of dancing around the answer, but I say that to say that your conscious is going to keep it real with you. Now, maybe a lot of negative thought isn't always bad, because let's say I was really slacking off and I was telling myself, oh, you're slacking off, you need to be better. I do need to be better. But if I'm telling myself, oh, people that are watching this podcast don't care about your real life, stop being yourself, that's bad self-talk. But like the first one, that wasn't bad self-talk, but like that second one, that's bad self-talk. So I think your conscious is going to know what needs to be fixed in your life and what is good, what you shouldn't be saying. So I think that's just how you deal with it. You got to be able to distinguish between the two. And one of these days, I want to get a little bit deeper on all of these topics. But just for right now, I'm just kind of just letting out thoughts that I may think about certain subjects, So yeah, but that's how I feel about that. And for anyone that's struggling with negative self-thought, I just want to tell you that it's going to be okay. Not like everyone deals with it. The person that you may look up to the most, they self-doubt themselves all the time. They have bad thoughts. They have, whatever it is. And I do it. If you look up to me, I do it. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect. I second guess myself all the time when I just want to be a person that's more just go. Like forget what he thinks, forget what she thinks, just go. You know what I mean? But I'm human. Like, I second guess myself. I'm like, sometimes, like, I just be playing out situations. I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Let me just chill. Let me just relax. But nah, man, you shouldn't be like that. You should be like Russell Westbrook in transition, just going full speed. You're not second guessing nothing. But yeah, that's how I feel about that. For the next topic I'm talking about now, I talked about negative thoughts, how to lock in, blah blah blah. I want to talk about something that's super big in my life, which is the negative impacts of social media. So maybe like the two biggest things I think I get from social media that negatively impact my brain, and it's not like a huge negative impact, but it's an impact I want to get rid of, is the fear of missing out, or the fear of rushing your greatness. Because like on social media, what is it? It's a highlight reel. People are showing, oh, they're doing this, oh, they have this, oh, they're doing that, oh, they're there, they're here, they're what, like, you know what I'm saying? And like a lot of times, and I know I'm not the only one that goes through this. Everyone watching this video, I'm sure, goes through this. I'm watching all this happen. I'm watching a person, they just bought a Hellcat, and I'm like, bro, they're only a year older than me. That's rushing my greatness. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, and that's why sometimes I think it's important to really just take breaks off of social media. I'm about to go on one right now because I just want to be about my thing. As soon as school starts, I want to be about my thing and only about my thing, not nothing on the outside world. But I just think that a lot of the times on social media, it tricks your mind. It's like, bruh, just because like, the world would be such a better place if people just worried about themselves. Like, it don't matter that he got a Hellcat. It don't matter that they're in France. Like, it don't matter. Do you? Because not everyone is meant to have a car of that stature, be in Europe, France, eating croissants for lunch every day. Like, not everyone's meant to have that in their destiny. Sometimes some people, it's going to take longer for them to get up to where they want to be than this person. Some person may get it a little bit easier than this person, but I just think the world would be a better place if everyone worried about themselves. You know what I'm saying? So when you're on social media, forget what this person's doing. That's why I think it's super important to take your breaks off of social media, because like, if you're on there for too long, you're going to realize, you're going to be like, oh, why am I comparing myself to this person who's not from the same place as me, who was not born how I was, and who is not me? Like, why am I worried about this person? You know, it's really not doing me any value by being on here and you know, and that's why I'm really big on erase your socials, which is why when I have the funds and when I have my idea locked in, I'm gonna create my own brand. It's gonna be called Erase Your Socials, most likely, because I just think that's how I live my life. It's like erase your socials. Sometimes you gotta get off. One, I really love the song by Uzi, but you gotta really get off your socials. It's kind of like erasing your whole identity. So I just think that that's super important, you know, because in this world you compare yourself all the time, and also you don't have to rush your greatness, you know, because you have so much time to be the best version of yourself. Some people get it when they're 90, some people get it when they're 16, you know, but you have so much time to be the best version of yourself. I'm whispering because some people just came on the other side of me. That's why I keep looking to my left. I don't want to look awkward, but basically, like, hopefully y'all can hear me. I think y'all should be able to, but you have so much time to do what you want. Like, it's really it's some as long as you're on this earth, you have time. And I feel like if God's not gonna take you off this earth unless you've maximized your potential. Like, God's gonna make sure that when you leave this earth, it's over for you. It's not nothing else you could have got out of that can. It's over for you. So I just think, man, don't rush your greatness, bro. You're gonna be great, but you just gotta give it time, man, and stop comparing yourself, man. Because comparing yourself, you're not doing anything. Like, you think that person's comparing themselves to you? No. So it's like, why are you comparing yourself to them? You know. Next one I want to talk about. We only got a few more because I don't want to make this video too long. But next one I'm talking about is called dealing with being yourself at all times. Now, in the past year, I would say this is a thought that has gone through my mind at least 1,000 times a day. Like, be you, do what you like. Forget what your friends say. Forget what your mom says. Your family. Do you. Obviously, don't be a stupid person when being yourself. Being you doesn't mean go out and just do crack and be butt naked on the street, but it means, like, where you see your life heading, if this person doesn't understand it, get off me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Why are you next to me? If you don't understand me, why are you next to me? You know what I'm saying? It's like, be yourself. Being yourself is so important, because in this world, all we have is ourselves. And in a world that's everything's already been done, it's like, the only thing that makes you different from a person 100 years ago, from a person 50 years ago, and from a person 10 years ago is the fact that you're you. No one can take away that you're you. Oh, shoot, my bad. Nothing can take away that you're you, because that's what makes you different. That's what makes you creative. Regardless if you consider yourself creative or not, you are creative because you're yourself, and there's no one else that's an exact replica of you. Even I have a twin sister. She's not an exact. We're totally different. So I just think, man, being you is so important, because with that, if you're not, like, who else are you gonna be? You know what I mean? Who else can you be? And it's like, we have so much divine power given to us by God and things of that nature. So it's like, no matter if you see it or not, it's in you. It's in you. It's in you. It's in you. And if you be yourself, you can unlock that potential. So that being yourself, what does that mean to me? That means being what you like, being unapologetically yourself. You don't have those second thoughts saying, like, this person's around, I don't want to be myself because I want them to like me, or I don't want to post this on Instagram because I'm scared how people are going to think, or I don't want to chase my dream because people may not, my mom may want me to be a lawyer, she may not want me to be a rapper, or whatever you want to be, you want to do, you know what I mean? I think just being yourself and trusting yourself, because at the end of the day, we come into this world by ourselves, and we leave by ourselves. And we're no matter whoever you believe in, what I believe in is when we up there and we're getting judged, I'm getting judged. This person's not getting judged next to me, and this person's not getting judged next to me, you know. So that's just how I feel. Okay, we back at it. My camera cut off, so I just waited a few minutes for it to cool down. But basically, yeah, I think just be yourself, bro, at all costs, no matter what a person says, but be you, because that's the only person you can be. But we better wrap this video up. I got a few more things I want to talk about. Let me see. The last thing I want to say is dealing with feeling unmotivated. Now, motivation's been one of the big things that I've been talking about since this whole talk, but I think being unmotivated is something that you can and can't help. Like, a lot of times you may be going through a period in your life where, you know, you're just out of it, you're in a funk, but I think I think if you follow what I'm saying, I think there's such thing as motivation on your goals, and then there's an ultra motivation that no matter what, no matter where you are in this world, you're gonna want to achieve that ultra motivation, and that may be making it to heaven. That's one of mine, or that's top one of mine. But making it to heaven, pleasing your family, like being the best version of yourself. That's ultra motivation. I feel like you can never, like you can be unmotivated on maybe making money, like, cause money is, we can't touch money. That's not a real thing. It's value that we give value to, but it's something unvaluable that we give value to. But basically, I feel like if you're ultra motivation, you can't turn that off. Like you can be motivated for a job one day and then just the next day not be motivated. I could be motivated to do this podcast one day and not be motivated no more. But I could never not be motivated to make it to heaven, or not be motivated to become the best version of myself. So I just feel like no matter what, having that ultra motivation is gonna help your smaller motivations, because usually your smaller motivations are what you need to get to that ultra motivation, if that makes sense. So I just think having that understanding that it's going to be days where you don't want to do what you were doing, but you have to do it anyway. That's the part, turn my flashlight on. That's the part of life though, that you have to do things that you don't want to do to get to the place where you want to be. So I say just do it now, so you get out the way and be the best version of yourself. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I'm going to do another episode like this where I'm just sitting down talking about becoming the best version of yourself, because that's a chase I'm on every day, is becoming the best me, doing the best that I can do to become the best version of myself. So yeah, but expect one of those in the next coming months for sure. Maybe like next month or the month after, one of those months. But before I go, what not a better time to leave off with some motivation than right now. So I'm gonna give two things today. So my first thing is, I want to say my quote of the day is, you can't have a Lamborghini dream with a Toyota effort. Now, I said this in my last video, my Destroy Lonely reaction, no stylist reaction video. So if you haven't watched that, go watch that. But what I meant by that was, everyone wants a Lamborghini. Like, if you gave anybody an option in the world between a Lam and a Toyota, they're taking a Lam 100% of the times. But it's like, people be saying like, oh yeah, I want a Lam. I want to be living in Calabasas. I want to be the flyest person ever. But are you gonna go through the stuff to get to that point? You know what I mean? Are you gonna go through that sacrifices of not having no friends to get to that point? Are you gonna go through the sacrifices of being bored doing your work, not even being bored, but not wanting to do your work? And then are you gonna go through that sacrifice? You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people, that's where you see pretenders, and then you see people who are actually contenders, is that when those tough times that come, they know, well, when they're doing stuff that they don't want to do, they're like, okay, I'm doing stuff I don't want to do, but I need to do it in order to get to where I want to be. So I think that's just, remember that when you're working, it's a day you don't feel like getting up. It's early, you don't feel like getting up, get up. Because the people that's driving them Lamborghinis, they got up. They didn't lay down. They didn't hit the snooze button, they got up. You know what I mean? So just keep doing that. Unless you're cool with a Toyota, being a Toyota person. Nah, when I say Toyota and Lamborghini, that's nothing against the cars, because I have a Nissan. But I'm just saying, quality of person. Do you want to be a Lamborghini type person, or do you want to be a Toyota type person? Now, a Toyota type persons, yeah, they're reliable, but there's nothing special. Nobody's looking at a Toyota when it comes around. Or do you want to be a Lamborghini person that is special, is rare, and people are looking when they see a Lamborghini? So that's just what I mean by that. And in my second quote, I guess I'm gonna just say, my second quote. I say, we being super cliche today, but I say hard work beats talent, and that's facts. That's facts. Hard work beats talent, because I don't know. The camera cut off on me, so I don't know what it caught, but I just want to close, just in case it didn't catch my closing. I want to say thank you guys to everyone who's been supporting me. I've been achieving so many goals this year, and so many people who I look up to have been noticing what I do. So I just want to say thank you so much for all of that, for everything. It couldn't have been done without the people that support me, and I love you guys. And I'm not the type of person to tell you to like, subscribe, or comment. But if you really enjoy this, comment, content, make sure you go like tell a friend about it, because like we're all trying to go up together. And I tell people that if you support me, you're a part of my team, and we're in a few years I'm gonna be outer space. So I just want to say, I like really, and I'm not playing when I say that I'm really gonna be on a different level. But I just want to say thank you for everything, you guys. Hope you guys enjoy this content. I'm gonna be here the Monday after that, and the Monday after that, and the Monday after that, and the Monday after that. So you guys have a great one rest of your day. See you next Monday. I can't wait for you guys to see what's in store. And yeah, just keep grinding, keep locking in. You can't fake them hours, man. All right, we out of here.